Stranger Things has a bunch of characters at this point. Heading into season 5, maybe it will be dimmed back a little bit now, just in terms of focusing on all the core main group of characters, as we got introduced to a ton in season 4. However, a bunch of them did, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how much you like their characters or not, bit the dust, or they just won't be involved in season 5. Like Argyle will not be returning according to a bunch of reports. Angela probably not returning. That's definitely for the best. You know, characters like Jason and Chrissy and Eddie, of course, the most popular one, killed off. And you can name a couple other newly introduced characters too. But point being, because season 5 last season, it will focus on the core main group of characters. We're still gonna get some newer characters here and there, like that Derek kid that we know about, and maybe some other characters like Holly Wheeler finally getting a little bit more of like a spotlight moment. I wanted to just give some attention to, I think, the 5 characters that Stranger Things needs to redeem in season 5, as in, I think season 4 did them a little dirty, and I want season 5 to kind of, you know, redeem their characters and make them good in the potential that they already had from the start, but actually fulfill that potential. So at number 5, now you guys probably can't believe I'm putting him on this list, but he is at number 5 because he's definitely the least needs to get redeemed out of these 5. We got Steve Harrington himself. Now, I'll be completely upfront with you guys. Season 4 Steve, I liked. He was really fun. However, I think that the writers didn't really know where they wanted his character to go next, so they kind of resorted to kind of going into his feelings for Nancy still, how he got over her, but like as he spent more time with her, he kind of realized that those feelings never really went away. And he had fun moments. He was a really good character, do not get me wrong on that. I just want more of his, I guess, relationship maybe with Dustin to see more, maybe not more so of like the little like bickering and like, you know, I get it's fun bickering, but I just kind of want to see more of Steve beyond just his relationship problems, if that makes sense, or just feeling like he's there for the sake of, you know, he's the babysitter, or oh, he's got feelings for Nancy still. Like I said, I don't even dislike him in season 4. I think he's good. I just think he hit a peak season by season, and I still think season 3 was his best season. Season 4, maybe a little less than season 3, in my opinion. So just for season 5, I'd like to see him maybe get involved with some new characters, which is, I want him to specifically get involved with a character I'm going to mention later on in this list, and I'll let you know where that connection is heading to. But yeah, Steve Harrington, number 5. At number 4, I'm gonna go with Joyce Byers. Now, Joyce, I think, is still one of the most underrated characters of the show. People acknowledge her without truly acknowledging her. I think she's a top 5 character of this show easily. But I think, as much as I love her and Hopper, you know, Jopper for life, I think that they just maybe steered too much down the road of like she's only been involved with Hopper and she hasn't really been involved with her sons, Jonathan and Will, storyline. And like, I think season 5 is going to change that. She's still gonna have her scenes with Hopper, of course. I just want her to get some fresh dynamics out there, so she's also in storylines and interacting with other characters, you know what I mean? We know that she's at the barn set. We saw that in the very first look that we got at Tudum. And there's other characters there. You can kind of see Robin in the background, Will, her son, obviously. The first scene is of her and Will just talking, you know, talking about that night that he went missing. So that gives me so much hope. But yeah, I mainly put Joyce on this list because I love her. However, I would just like to see her get involved with other characters just for a nice change of pace, you know, especially her son. And I think season 5 will deliver on that. I'm so happy about that. At number 3, should I put at number 3? I'm just gonna be upfront with you guys. Between Mike, Will, and Jonathan, I'm gonna put Jonathan at number 3. Jonathan Byers is going at number 3. Now, this is such an unpopular opinion. I think, in my opinion, I want to do a video on this on my own time, but I think Jonathan might be the most disrespected character in the entire show. I want to do an entire video on how I think he's disrespected and misunderstood, and how people fail to acknowledge him, and he should get more acknowledgement for his purpose and his role. But I do also, in that same breath, acknowledge that season 4 was not his best season. That was easily the weakest season for his character. I was always kind of disappointed with the way they took his character. I just wish he was a little bit more involved. They spent a little bit more time with him because he clearly was just, it was kind of like the aftermath of all his trauma. And like, yeah, they showed it, but like they didn't really like focus on it to where the audience can't really capture that as like, oh yeah, I have to feel bad for that trauma, you know what I mean? So I really want him to get a lot more screen time for one. Everyone's back in Hawkins now, so this should, in theory, retcon a lot of this stuff. We know he's going to be in a grouping, at least for some bits, with Nancy, Steve, and Dustin. They're riding in Steve's car in the Upside Down. I cannot wait for that grouping. That might be one of the most fun groupings of the entire show if they pull it off, right? There's so many cool dynamics that they can work in, but my opinion, Jonathan Byers, hopefully he gets redeemed in season 5 in the sense that they do more with his character. He's more involved, honestly, and he comes into his own a little bit more. I think he's someone who's selfless and all, but he's too selfless. Like, he needs to come into his own more as his own character, and I really hope season 5 does what season 4 just unfortunately couldn't get over the line. At number 2, we got Mike Wheeler. Now, I think he might be my favorite character of this entire show. I've always liked Mike since season 1. Even season 3 and 4, I liked him, but I just acknowledged that he wasn't at his best. And Mike is someone who, obviously, he's the OG leader of the party. That's what he's always been touted as the heart, basically, of the group, the leader. And he's kind of, unfortunately, drifted away from that a little bit. And I think season 5, he has to come back into that sort of role. And I think he has the potential to. And I think that he will probably be one of the main focuses of season 5, alongside Will and alongside Elle, of course. But I just think a lot of potential is there to finally finish off his arc of his character, come full circle with how he was in season 1. That potential is there. I really want to see it happen. Bring Mike Wheeler back into the spotlight and make him the leader he was always meant to be, as the show has been teased and touted out. Yeah, it can't be teased for no reason. And I just think seeing such a badass version of Mike now, finally, that would be amazing. I really want to see Mike. I really hope I can just come out of season 5 and say that Mike's one of the best characters of the season by far. Like, and he has the potential to. And especially after season 4, when he was one of those characters that wasn't in the Hawkins storyline, which means by default he was in a side plot, which was truly a side plot. Yeah, we need more Mike Wheeler, and we need more of his original personality, if that makes sense, from seasons 1 and 2. And at number 1, you guys all knew this one was coming. It has to be none other than Will Byers himself. Now, this one, as much as it's number 1, I know that this one is the most likely to actually come true. Season 5 is going to focus on Will. That was teased all the way back in season 4's finale when all the particles were coming down and he was at the front of the group. That was just teasing that season 5 is going back to focusing on Will. It started with Will. It's going to end with Will. Beautiful full circle. And I also really want him to come into his own more. I want him to be more brave and open, and we really need to see the flashbacks of him in the Upside Down. And I think that's going to give us so much context to his character, and I'm so looking forward to that. Will Byers I think he needs a good season. He needs his best season yet. Season 5 has to be the best season ever for his character, to really do some justice, because in season 3 and 4, he definitely was pushed to the side. And I get that. He can't, like, always be suffering every season. I'm like, season 1 and 2, you're always like, what is the... At this point, because now we know that it was Vecna pulling some strings, what does he have against Will all this time? I really hope that season 5 sticks the landing on that. I think Will is going to be one of the main characters. That's basically almost confirmed, but I really want him to be worth it. I want it to be worth it. I want the wait to finally see him come into the limelight and come full circle with the storyline. That needs like probably one of the biggest priorities of this final season is to like make his character actually like fleshed out properly, because we have been waiting since season 1 to find out his whole backstory and like his experiences in the Upside Down. Season 5 I think is going to do that, and that's why he's number 1 on this list comfortably, because season 5 has to give him justice. And like I said earlier, Steve, I wanted to see him with a certain character. That was Jonathan, by the way. I didn't really mention that because it kind of went over my head, but yeah. This is another video topic too, but I do want to see Steve and Jonathan just form a good friendship. I think they have potential to be one of the best duos of this show. So, I guess that's a little random thing to end off on, but let me know if you have any other characters that you guys think they need to redeem in Season 5, who you hope is at least treated better in Season 5 by the writers and like their stories and whatnot. Let me know all your theories. I really would like to get some maybe Stranger Things fans and audiences in some of my videos so we can discuss this, because Stranger Things is my personal favorite Netflix show, and I definitely want to get into making a ton more videos about it heading into Season 5 this fall. I cannot wait.